Hey guys, remember it's TCG back with a new video. So with this video, I'm going to be showing Exosister test hands, and this is post-DIFO. You guys have been wanting to see this. Yeah, so if you want to see the deck profile, it'll be in the top right corner. And yeah, let's just get started here. So I start up by summoning Sophia here, and then since I control Spellcaster, I can summon Nefarious and Inari. So I exceed these two here to get Michaelius, and so basically my reasoning for using these two instead of the Sophia to get Michaelius is because with packs, so with Michaelius I can search out packs, and then with packs I can search out Irene, and Irene gets automatically summoned because I control an Exosister with the name so her name is mentioned in Sophia, so that way she's directly summoned. And this way I can use Sophia's effect, which will let me actually draw a card, and since I control Irene, I get to I gain 800 life points as well. And here I drew Valor, and here I'm going to use Elaine to just get rid of the Vadis, because the Vadis I didn't feel was extremely useful right here, so I decided to get rid of it. Ended up drawing another Vadis, so it didn't matter too much. It was just an extra 800 life points. Exceeded these two to get Capital. So with this, I'm going to be able to search out an Exosister monster. I searched out Sophia for next turn. I like searching out Sophia because if I still control another Exosister monster, it's going to let me draw a card next turn. Exceed these two to get Magnifica. This is the new Exosister Exceed monster, that's pretty good. So here, this is how I end it. So just to go over it with you guys, Magnifica, she is able to banish a card during my opponent's turn, which is really nice. So I'm going to be able to use her effect, banish one card my opponent controls, and then I can use her second effect to switch her out for one of her materials. So I'm going to be switching her out for Michaelius, and then with Michaelius I'd be able to banish another card. So that's pretty great there. So basically 2 banishes, and I get Ash Blossom to negate, whatever. If they end up drawing a card as summoning or something, I can negate that. I have Valor as another way, as just a way to negate one of their monster's effects. And then I have Vadis here, which, depending on what your opponent is playing, if you use Vadis during their turn, you can lock them out of taking cards out of their grave, because then it'll let you just get an Exosister Exceed monster. So that's pretty great. But if you don't see them really interacting with their grave too much, then you can choose to just save this until next turn, and from there activate it to go into an Exceed play, and you have Sophia here, so you're going to be able to draw a card. But yeah, that's it for the first test hand. Let's go to the second. Okay guys, so for the second test hand, I have Magistus here, and this is going to give me a chance to actually use the card. So yeah, I'm going to start this by summoning Magistus effect, to get myself Artemis, and then because I used Magistus effect, it lets me summon a spellcaster from my hand. So I'm gonna summon my level 4 Sophia, and from here I can use Artemis's effect to just search out another Zora. So that it's really great. It basically pays for itself, and it's just a way to give me a turn, or give me a play for next turn. So that's always great to see. Now I can summon Ranru, since I control Spellcaster, so go straight into that. Exceed these two to go into Michaelius. So I detach Sophia here so that I'm able to actually, let me just pause that. So I got rid of Sophia here so that, since that's my only Exosister monster that has a name associated with it, I can use packs to actually search out Irene. And then Irene gets to summon herself because of packs here. And now I'm going to be able to go into another Exceed play. So this is kind of similar to the other play. Go into the Capital, search again for Sophia, because she's my go-to for whenever I need to just search out a monster. And then from here, Exceed, get Magnifica. And similar board to last time. Basically, again, I'm going to be able to banish essentially 2 cards because of Magnifica. I could banish one, and then switch into Michaelius, banish another. So that's pretty great. Or if I need to, just lock, I can summon Capital, because that is the other Exceed material I used to summon Magnifica. and from there I can lock them out of special summoning monsters from their grave. And yeah, I have an imperm set, and I have a Veiler, so that's pretty good. Basically 2 banishes, or a way to lock them out of summoning monsters from the grave, as well as an imperm as a monster negate and a Veiler as another monster negate. That's pretty much it for the second. And depending on if they're not careful about the imperm column, they could also negate. And here we have Zora, and since we actually have like a spellcaster in the grave, we can use Zora next turn to just bring back a spellcaster from the grave if we choose to do so. So we can keep our Sophia here. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the second. Let's go to the third. Okay guys, so before I get started with the third test hand, if you guys are liking Exosisters and thinking about building the deck, or thinking about just buying cards on TCG Player, make sure to use the link in the description. It'll help the channel out a lot. But yeah, let's just get started here. So with this hand, I'm gonna start by summoning Stella, and then with Stella I can summon Sophia from my hand. And since I control the spellcaster, I can summon Inari. Now I exceed these two to get Mikalis. Similar play as last time. I'm gonna try to get my packs here so that I can, since I have Sophia, I can get Irene. And now I can draw with Sophia and gain 800 life points. Now here I can do the same play and go for the Elaine to get rid of an Exosister card if I choose to do so, and then draw an extra card. But I choose to keep these two because I guess I'll kind of go through it with the end. But again, use Capistel here, search out my Sophia because my go-to, go to Magnifica, set these two. So yeah, so let's just try to go over this. So with Magnifica, again, I'm going to be able to banish one, and then I can banish another if I choose to switch into Mikalis, or I can lock them out of their grave if I choose to do so. And here I have Vadis. So Vadis is pretty great because I'm going to be able to essentially lock them out of special summoning monsters from their grave, as doing so would force an exceed out of the Exosister monsters that I summon out of this card. And if they choose not to do so, I can still use Amento to switch out one of those Exosister monsters that are summoned through Vadis into whatever Exosister I need. So maybe I need like that. There's an Exosister that serves as an imperm. So I can just switch into that and basically have an imperm on my side. So yeah, pretty good way to interact with my opponent here. And for next turn, I have my play through the Flame Zora. Again, special summon an Exosister from the grave, which lets me save some resources. As well as, Sophia if I need to, or if I have a way to summon it out. Then that's a great way to do so, because there is an Exosister that lets you special summon an Exosister from your hand. So if I can use packs to get that card out, and then use it to bring out Sophia, that's a great way to just get a free draw. But yeah, that's for the third hand. Let's go to the fourth hand. Okay guys, so this is the fourth test hand, and as you can see here, I have no Exosister monsters in my hand. But you can see that just because you don't have any Exosisters, you can still completely play, because Exosisters exceed monsters effects just require, it's like a generic rank 4 exceed. So I'm going to show you guys by summoning Dinotherium. My opponent has the option to special summon a level 4 from either grave. Of course, they don't have one, so I wouldn't do anything here. I just get a free summon basically. And yeah, so now I can summon Zora. So Zora is a spellcaster, which lets me summon Nefariousness. Now at this point, I do not have any Exosisters to summon from my hand, or any spellcasters in my hand to summon, or hand or grave to summon through Zora. So I'm gonna be limited with Zora at this point, but I can still use it later. So now I'm going to exceed these two to get Capistel. So I use Capital here to get Elaine. Now I use Zora's effect, doing the whole thing that I showed you guys the first time. Search out another Zora. Now this time I can actually go for a synchro play with Zora. So this is just to show you guys like the Magistus, the whole Magistus engine. So Zora here lets me equip a Magistus monster from my extra deck to this card. And my opponent cannot activate the effects of monsters with the same card type. So since in my extra deck I have a Synchro, Exceed, or Link, this card is even more powerful if you know what cards what deck your opponent's playing. So if you know your deck is playing if your opponent's playing Sword Soul, you can easily lock that out. If you know your opponents are playing like Phantom Knights, you can lock them out with the Exceed. Yeah, I like going here for the just if I don't really know what they're playing, I like going for the Magistus Dragon Vafram, just because Vafram's really great. He basically makes it where Zora can't be destroyed by spells or traps, and it locks them out of synchro plays. And here I have the Amento, which lets me switch out Capital into a different Exosister. So depending if I need the Exosister that serves as an imperm, or if I need Mikalis, which lets me banish a card on the field, that's another great option as well. And yeah, I also have the Ash Blossom in my hand, which is great, just a generic negate. And here I also have a Magis's Flame Zora, which lets me, at the very least, I have a rank 4 Exceed play for next turn, since it's just a 1 card for doing so, since I am going to have a level 4 in my grave. And then, yeah, I also get my draw for that turn. But yeah, guys, these are my test hands for Exosisters. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about the deck, the archetype. And again, if you want to like purchase any of these cards or just any cards on TCG Player and want to support the channel, make sure to use the link in the description down below. And yeah, thank you guys for watching.